Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Brian from Apex Auction Car Reconditioning. Today I want to do a video on SUVs. I love SUVs. I've had a need for SUVs, pets, just my overall location, weather-wise, environment. Always needed a good four-wheel drive SUV. Always have had one in my lineup since as long as I can remember. So today I want to do a video of a few SUVs you should avoid at all costs like the plague. I want to start with the 2008, 9, 10, 11, and 12 Range Rover Land Rover. And that's because of, well, coolant issues, mostly head gasket. And all it takes is there are crossover pipes in the front and the back of the intake, and all it takes is one of those to crack and leak, which happens quite often and easily, and then the engine overheats. Here's the issue. If the engine in that year Range Rover HSE overheats, 8 times out of 10, it's going to warp the head, and then you're in trouble because it has the double overhead cams, and it is a pain and a huge job, about $8,000 to $10,000 to rip that engine down and machine the heads, fix all the other issues. They're junk. They're done. They're throwaway cars. When that happens, if it overheats, if you're lucky to be able to replace maybe if a water pump goes bad or a crossover pipe or a thermostat, a hose being crimped, and just there are air pockets in the coolant system that can cause overheating. That vehicle is just the biggest hunk of junk. Do something. Hop on Facebook Marketplace, punch in 2010 Land Rover Range Rover HSE, and you're going to find a boatload of them for sale for $1,500. Junk, motor blown, head gasket, and that's why. Avoid them like the plague. No matter what deal you find, no matter what deal a seller wants to give you, turn around, lace up your running shoes, and sprint away as fast as you can. Number 2 is going to be the 2012 to 2022 Buick Enclave. Now these vehicles are good looking. They have some nice interiors, they're comfortable, they're hefty so they absorb bumps, and you can spend a lot of time in the cockpit driving on long trips. The problem is they have a lot of issues. They have the 1.4 liter Ecotec, absolute junk motors. Stay away from them. Also, charging problems. Every single one that I have found at an auto auction, the battery's dead, or there's not enough juice to get it started because there are charging issues and wiring issues and shorts and always a draw on the battery. Low voltage issues on that vehicle wreak havoc on the electrical system. All kinds of faux dash lights will come on, and you'll have different, you might have a center cluster that blinks or pauses for a little while. Low voltage issues with those vehicles cause a lot of gremlins within the electrical system, and I just highly recommend to stay away from them. Turbo issues. Guys, it's a small engine, and those SUVs have a little bit of heft to them, so you're going to need a turbo to give them enough power, and the turbos put them through so much stress. I love naturally aspirated engines. The smaller engines that they turbo up and they juice them all up go under so much stress, problems are going to occur. A turbo goes out, $2,000 to $3,000 every single time. Stay away from the Buick Enclave and save yourself a headache. Number 3 on my list to stay away from. By the way, a lot of the experience through going to lots, going to auction lots and doing these inspections and coming across these problems personally. This isn't something that stories handed down to me. This is stuff that I see personally on a day-to-day basis. The 06 to 17 Jeep Patriot and Compass, They are the Temu of SUVs. Engine's junk, transmission's junk. They have their version of the CVT. They cannot be rebuilt. Any type of CVT transmission cannot be rebuilt. The factory can sell you a rebuilt one. There's nobody out there in a small shop or a transmission shop that's going to be able to rebuild them. Electrical issues, the interiors, exteriors, plastic trim falling apart. The interiors have that real hard textured plastic all over the place. I just don't like anything about the inside or outside. If you have one, guys, by the way, and it's holding up and you enjoy it, cheers. Cheers. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not trying to put your vehicle down or a vehicle that you like. This is just personal experience and a headache I can try and save others by staying away from them. The next SUV I'm going to tell you to stay away from has an engine that is as bad or maybe even worse than the Cadillac Northstar engines, which I really despise. This is the 5.4 liter, the 3-valve. The 2-valve is a little bit better, but the 3-valve 5.4. And these are gumming up issues, timing chain, cam phaser problems. The problem is so many of these engines are junk and are sought after because they need replacements, which, by the way, can cost $7,000 before labor, if you can find one, because they're being bought up so quickly and failing at that high of a rate. They're hard to find, which drives the price up. That was last year that I looked for one for, that was an Excursion, that with a real large Ford. Stay away from them. If you want any piece of advice, stay away from them. The worst engines, the 5.4 liters, the Cadillac Northstar, the 1.4 liter, the Ecotec, the 3.6 liter V6 in Dodge or Chevy or really anything, well, especially Dodge and Chevy. Absolute garbage. Run as fast as you can away from them. All right, number 5 on my list is going to be another Jeep. Temu of SUVs, Wranglers, Commanders, Patriots, you name it. Stay away from them, they're garbage. There is a huge community for Jeep Wranglers. Enjoy, that's all I could say. I would never, the older ones, 94 and older, the CJs with the V8s, manual transmissions, these newer ones, drive them right to the crusher. So with the Commanders, it's going to be not so much the engine, which I still wouldn't trust, but transmission, especially transfer case. Transfer case, differential mounts, exhaust leaks. Every time I see one at an auto auction and I'm under there looking for rust, I notice an exhaust leak somewhere, either around the converter or around the muffler or around the back. Exhaust, for some reason, I don't know why, there's always an exhaust leak. Cheap interior parts, cheap parts inside and out. It just seems like they fall apart. Buttons and switches and interior trim pieces. Stay away from the Jeep Commander any year. Before we end the video, big bonus for you. Big group of vehicles, SUVs. Chevy and GM, Traverse, Acadia, Enclave, Chevy Blazer. Turn around, run like hell, and find something else. Electronic issues in the dash. There are 3.6 liter V6s in any of those. Throw them in the dumpster, take them to the crusher, just avoid them with everything possible. Camshaft position sensors are always flickering lights on the dash. Steering wheel problems, steering rack problems. There's so many issues with these things. The AC systems, guys, with an AC system, compressor can cost $1,500, and that's before you get labor into it. You don't want to know, which the HVAC in the Chevy Blazers especially, actuators. Actuators will turn flaps so you can get cool air compared to hot air flowing through the vents, or if you want to change positions of where the air is coming from, dash for your windshield, center to come right out at you and keep you cool, or down below for your feet. The actuators go bad all the time in these Chevys and GMs. And the actuators, 40, 60, depending on what vehicle and what size the actuators are under $100. That's not the problem. The problem is getting to them. You have to take the dash out for some of these if you're not a contortionist and twist yourself in all imaginable different shapes and sizes to get to these. You have to take the dash out, and you're looking at $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 just for that. Stay away from them. Save yourself a headache. Listen, guys, this has been Brian from Apex Auction Car Reconditioning. If you agree and want to add information, down in the comment section. If you want to add vehicles to this list, by the way, this is just a partial list. If you want me to add the other vehicles that I have on my long list to another video, let me know and I'll spark up another video if this one does well. If you have a disagreement as to a car that's on my list, please, down in the comment section, let me know. If you have a vehicle that's on my list that has lasted you for years and years and you're very happy with it, I'm not trying to put the vehicle down. I'm not trying to throw shade in any way. If you have something that has worked that's on my list, God bless you. Brian from Apex Auction Car Reconditioning. I'll catch you in the next video.